To ja. A to Poshypop. Profesjonalny gracz Deadlocka zajmujący 5. miejsce w amerykańskiej drabince. Stały bywalec Night Shiftów. Zapraszam na pierwszą część mojego pierwszego coachingu.
POSHYPOP fighting inside the dome. This is his dream scenario. So much damage on the Venator in these close range engagements. And now Mirage caught in the exact fight.
So in your fill out, you said that you're Senate 4 at the moment, and you said that your movement does not feel high elo, but I don't see the reason why it is not as crisp as it should. I sometimes feel like I don't understand how to itemize correctly, when to pick cheaper items. Sometimes my laning feels like a coin flip. So let me go ahead and cover this and have this written down here with the match ID that you sent. You also send your stat locker. I can pull this up here. So movement, itemize, laning.
Yes.
Those are the three things that you want to focus on for today, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, got it. I mean, what makes you feel like I know you kind of described it a little bit, but could you elaborate a little more perhaps on what you,
What I struggle with.
movement, stuff like that?
Yes, of course. So basically, I know all the components of movement. I've created a guide myself even, and I watched yours a few days ago, and I know all the different texts. But I feel like I sometimes hit walls randomly, for example, or I don't utilize the wall jumps enough, or my strafing is inefficient. I feel like when I'm watching someone who's good at the game, that they are infinitely faster than me. And of course, when I'm playing people at my elo, it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like there is much room for improvement here.
Okay, I got it. I'll definitely be looking at then, like when we watch your VOD, I'll be keeping a very close eye on your movement, and I will try to be critical, as critical as I can with it, possibly.
Yes.
Do you have experience in other Source games or no? Just Deadlock?
Not exactly. I played some CS, but I wasn't ever good.
Okay, I got it. Itemization, you've said that you just really don't know how to itemize correctly. Well, let me see what heroes you usually play. So you're usually playing...
It's mostly Victor at the moment. I'm trying some Graves and Apollo, but it's not not good at all. Mostly I'm playing Victor, and I have a lot of success with it. So the itemization is not that big of a deal since it's kind of solved, but I'm having trouble picking between like Spirit Resilience or what's the name of the big one? 6400.
Spellbreaker?
Yeah, Spellbreaker, of course. So I don't really know when should I save for the bigger item and when should I pick a smaller item and maybe something else with it. Like I see patterns as like Haze, Infernus, and Mina in the same team, so I pick plated armor, but I'm not sure about the value of those smaller items. Should I be ever picking them, or should I be saving for the bigger ones? As I also am a bit slot locked on Victor often.
Yeah, you're good. So the thing that you said about Victor first, where it's like his build is kind of solved and like you kind of build the same way, and it is true. Like the itemization isn't really going to be that variable on Victor. It's going to be like quite consistent and quite constant, like throughout most of the game. So the big question you asked, where it's like, Spellbreaker versus Spirit Resilience, like what is better? Like when would you want to build Spellbreaker? To be honest, Spirit Resilience is just kind of like a better item. Not a better item in the sense of like, Spellbreaker of course does more than Spirit Resilience, right? But for the cost that Spirit Resilience is compared to Spellbreaker, you are oftentimes going to want to build Spellbreaker versus Spirit Resilience, because or not Spellbreaker over Spirit Resilience, Spirit Resilience over Spellbreaker, because Spellbreaker is a 6400 item for a specific defense, Spirit Resist, right? While Spirit Resilience is a 3200 item, half the cost for defense, right? And for like building out the core of your character, to invest that much into like a defensive item is quite a lot. So there has to be some kind of massive threat on the enemy team to warrant an itemization choice like that. So to kind of answer your question a little bit, it's a big, your question is a part of like a big problem, just a problem that everyone deals with in Deadlock, like itemization, right? What I can answer to your question from what you specifically asked is like, when it comes to defensive itemization, oftentimes if you can make it work with just something cheap, like, just building a Spirit Resilience instead of Spellbreaker, it's really much more worthwhile to do that because you're only investing 3,200 versus a 6,400 into defensive. Now, the only time where it'd be okay to like build Spellbreaker over Spirit Resilience is like if you're dealing with maybe like Affliction, Infernus debuff, just a bunch of debuffs on the enemy team, and maybe like a Grey Talon. Like if the debuff resist of Spellbreaker is like highly warranted. Does that make a little sense? Or
Yes, a lot. I also think about the fact that 3 of my items that are just core items give me a lot of spirit resilience. I have like around 33% with nothing green that does that. So I'm not really sure how worth it is. How worth is it? Because it doesn't really stack infinitely. So the value of it is not that big when I put it on top of my other spirit resilience purple items.
Yeah, exactly. So like there might be games where you don't even need Spirit Resilience, but like don't get me wrong, if you're versing a Spirit heavy team, like it is very well indeed like worthwhile to like invest that extra 3,200 into Spirit Resilience because the returns are diminishing, of course, but like you just quite literally become unkillable. Like they are not a full Spirit team will not be able to kill a Victor with like all the innate Spirit resist through the purples and Spirit Resilience. So I would say that it is still worthwhile.
Oftentimes, and also until some point, because I need to be really far ahead so the enemy doesn't have answers to me. Because when they get their curses and their cripplings and inhibitors, it gets really tough. I kind of am on the edge to get strong enough, but at the same time be faster than the enemy.
Right, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, we'll look at your itemization in the game, and I'll let you know if there's anything like I see that is like maybe worrying or something like that.
Yes, maybe one other point regarding the itemization. Yeah. I'm sometimes wondering about getting some items that would help me win lane, like I'm facing Krill and someone else that's healing, and I'm building Healbane for that situation. I'm wondering if it's ever actually worth it, since I'm not really trying to win the lane as Victor. I'm just trying to survive it, and I would more likely pick Reactive Barrier, for example, to just survive more rather than some anti-heal. But maybe I'm wrong on that, and I was wondering, should I be buying those smaller items as well?
Yeah, so the issue is like under the context of Victor, because Victor builds in a very one-dimensional way as far as I'm concerned, like you don't really have a lot of room for slots in your build. So building an item in the laning phase to win the lane as Victor could be like horrible for the build, because you might not now have enough slots for all the items you need, because like Victor's one of the only heroes where like the build is just straight solved. So as Victor, it can be weird, but generally the question that you asked where it's like, is it okay to build to win the lane? I think it's actually really okay to build to win the lane. I think it's like completely fine to do that. Like building a headshot booster if you think you can win the lane, building, a heal right to have more sustain, building a backstabber, like whatever you want to do to build to win the lane, I think it's really good. To answer your question there. Does that make sense? Or
yes, of course. But the defensive options are, in your opinion, better then, or is it just regarding the situation dependent?
Situation dependent, because let's say like it's obviously you have to gauge it based on the situation that you're in the lane matchup. Like if you really think like deeply that like, okay, if I build Healbane in this lane, it'll be full winning, like do it. But like I'm kind of thinking about it, like Healbane as Victor does not guarantee a lane win. Like
yes, of course.
Sure, it's anti-heal, but you're only gonna be reducing the heal by so much, and like I don't know. Like Victor already doesn't have like the most amazing lane in the world.
Yes,
and also
sure.
That's not even the time in which you're supposed to win the game. So to be honest, as a standard, I think it would be better just itemized as Victor to get through the lane. But it's all very situational, right? Like it could be very different based on the game and the matchup and everything like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I guess we'll come back to it when we watch the games, and maybe then we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah. For sure. And your laning, will look at the laning. I mean, do you know why your laning feels like a coin flip sometimes? Like what? Is there like a specific thing that happens, or it's like, I don't know, like why this happens? And
I can't really find the right balance between being aggressive and not. I feel like I shouldn't be aggressive, but at the same time, I'm just trying to win lane as always. I'm trying to get a bit ahead so I can maybe invade the jungle, and I'm looking for opportunities, but I sometimes get lost on that and just do some random melee attacks, some random parries, and it ends up horrible.
Okay. Take a look then. Let this play out, and then I'll get started here. Unless it's just gonna bug. I think it's just gonna bug forever. So I gotta
It's okay.
restart it.
What do you think about the music?
It's good. It's good music at least. It's not bad, but the replay system still being buggy is never fun.
Oh yes, yes. I had to uninstall my game to watch the game today.
That is actually insane. So if I don't say anything for a hot minute, it's because I'm kind of just digesting like what's happening in the lane. But if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me about, let me know, okay?
Sure thing.
Because the first thing that I do want to try to focus on is like the volatility of this lane and why it's so volatile. I mean, the first thing that I'll say so far about your lane is you're moving around a lot, which is not inherently bad, but we're thinking in the context of volatility, right? Like, why do the lanes feel like a coin flip? I think this movement here has the possibility to create just a lot of like random like scenarios that you'll find yourself in.
Yes.
Like, I mean, just kind of like watch, you know, like you're not playing cover, you're sliding around, dashing, punching, get punched by Viscous. There's just so many things like happening in the first minute of the game. Like you're putting yourself in so many situations where like so many just random things can occur, which is probably to an extent of why it feels like a coin flip. Like, look, this is just coin flipping.
Yes,
like
exactly,
you just random pair. Yeah. So like, okay, it's a two-way street. Like the enemy sometimes just run at you and coin flip, but it's also you're putting yourself to an extent in that situation to even create the coin flip. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. I just feel the immense pressure of having to push the lane before the enemy does, because then I'm just getting poked. So
okay,
that's I guess
that's a really good point.
my way to approach this, but I can see how it is really random.
That's a really good point you brought up. Now we can agree it is true that like, you know, if the enemy has shove into you, it's disadvantageous. But there's a few things to consider. So there's 3 points I want to make about this statement here. So you said to feel pressure shove lane before enemy does. It's true, but realistically, it's if you feel it in your bones that like, okay, I can't shove this wave, it's more so of a consequence of the matchup than how you're actually playing the lane. So like sometimes you just won't be able to shove the lane. Sometimes you will be able to shove the lane. In this situation here, clearly it's like very awkward shoving the lane. Like you're saying to yourself, like, I mean, Victor is like not the best laner in all of Deadlock, and you're versing like a Viscous Moan Crow, which I honestly don't really know this matchup that well. I will say, but I feel like you are overemphasizing like the need to shove the wave a little bit sometimes. From what you said to me, I feel like that pressure is kind of fake. It's okay to let the tower, or not the tower. It's okay to let the waves crash under your tower. It's not the end of the world. It's sometimes just a consequence of the lane. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. I tend to even buy monster rounds first on Victor sometimes to just have the pressure and be able to shove faster, because I also try to look at timings very much, so I can take the camp at 2-0 and I can just go for the medium camps at 6 minutes. So it's kind of important for me to be able to navigate between the waves, so I can just have control of them. But yes,
yeah.
Before anything spawns, I should probably just let it go.
Yeah, exactly. And like an important thing you said is that timer, like the 2-minute timer. Like after that trade we saw you take, like first minute of the laning phase where you're 9 HP, are you going to be in a position where you can take that tier 1 camp now? Probably not, right? And like, okay, let's think, I'm thinking Victor, like of course, sure, like maybe there's a time a year from now where like Victor's like the most OP laner and you play Victor the win lane. But like right now, when I think of Victor, I think of like stalling, scaling, farming. Like if you win or lose lane, whatever, right? Like the idea is like you scale and farm and then you become Thanos. That's my idea.
Yes.
So now if we're ruining like the opportunity we have to scale and farm, that being the timers, right? We're too low HP to take the camps on the timers. that's like detrimental to like Victor as a core. Winning or losing lane is Victor, whatever. But missing that tier 1 camp spawn, detrimental, because you need to be on those timers as Victor, the tier 1 first spawn, tier 2 second spawn, so that you can scale nicely into the mid game and have your items and be a threat. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, for sure.
The second thing is like the heal creep, which was introduced like a few months ago, allows you to just infinitely sustain on your tower. So like it's okay, it's not that big of a deal if these waves in your tower, because these heal creeps will just heal you forever, and then you're just gonna be like full HP under your tower. So like, once again, this is just to illustrate that like there is no pressure to shove that lane. It's fine. Let it come into you. If you're low HP and you can't contest the wave, it's fine. Let it come in, kill the heal creep, heal up on your tower. And the third thing is that sometimes the disadvantageous state, that being the wave under your tower, could actually be an advantageous state. Maybe the enemy overextends and does something really stupid under your tower. Then it's a completely advantageous state, right? So sometimes, like, you can create an advantageous state out of this wave shove. It's not that big of a deal. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, I can see.
So, I mean, so far, I think your issue in the laning phase from this discussion we're having is like you're just putting yourself or finding yourself in a lot of these situations where you really don't have to be in these situations. You don't have to interact with these guys. You're interacting, and then it's just creating these random situations where like the enemy decides to fight you, you fight back. You don't have to fight back. You can just sit in your tower, let them do all this junk, and like play for your timer. Let them make the mistakes into you. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Do you feel like that's true, or what do you think?
Yes, I think so. I feel like I should be doing something. Like I should be trading with enemies, and I feel like I'm leaving my laners sometimes when I'm not doing that. So
it's okay to be doing nothing sometimes. That's the thing. It's like, I know it sounds bronze, but it isn't bronze. Like, it's okay to just sit in your lane sometimes and do nothing if there's quite literally nothing for you to do. You don't always have to trade. You don't always have to get boxes. You don't always have to do all these things. If you think that you don't have to do anything, it's fine. Like, I literally, there's this vivid game I have. I was playing 7 against Dew and Parzilian. And I had like this random like laner schmuck on my team, like a random guy. I don't know, like just some random like a 7 player, I don't know. But I'm versing like 2 really good players. And I'm sitting under my tower, AFK is 7. You know what they do? They literally dive me like 2 to 3 times, consistently kill themselves, and it allows me to win the game.
that is wonderful.
Right? Because my game plan is 7 is like, okay, I'm not looking to win this lane. I'm just going to try to scale. So I scale. They get greedy because they're playing this early to mid-game strong lane. And I just win the lane from it. So that's kind of like what you should be doing as Victor. Stick to your game plan. You know, okay, I don't think I can win the lane, so play the lane passive. If the enemies make mistakes into you, then play aggressive back and like kill them, right? If they don't, then don't interact back. Like this here, for example. Unnecessary. Does that make sense and everything, though?
Yes, that is an absolute burger fight, and it just shouldn't be taken.
Yeah, it's worse for you than it is for them, is the key thing, too. You're Victor, you need to scale. This is Viscous Monkrill. These guys can do whatever they want, and they'll still have value. If the Victor is not allowed to scale, the Victor will have no value. Another note I want to write down, too, is, like, the cover. Alright, let's keep going. Like there, for example, that wasn't necessary. Like, you know that you're not gonna be able to win the trade. You don't have a pain battery.
Yes.
You know, well, I mean, you do have a pain battery, but you weren't able to execute on it correctly. But why even gamble it? It's not your really goal to win this laning phase as in this current state, right? Like you had to start off by buying heal, right? It's not the best lane in history so far. Any questions so far or anything while we watch through this, or?
Maybe one note that I was trying to find a different binds to my crouch, exactly this game, and I used my mouse for it, but I realized then that I don't really feel comfortable with not having my items on my mouse buttons, so I ended up just going back to crouch eventually, so...
That's okay. So let me ask you this: what do you think about the current state right now? Is like, what do you think about your current position right now as Victor in this lane? Like, you think you're in a pretty good spot right now, or?
I'm doing great. Yes, I'm fantastic. I'm feeling it. It's just great. I'm so much ahead, and I should just keep chilling. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you should just keep playing passive because like remember Victor's idea fundamentally as a hero is you want to get your lead or not necessarily get your lead, but just chill, farm up, and then like enter the team fights when you're scaled and you have all your items. You essentially just got a free kill, so now you're going to be able to scale way quicker than how you were able to scale before without the kills. So essentially, you want the enemies to try to make the plays into you, and hopefully they mess up. And you know, if they do mess up, you just kill them. There's obviously windows where you can play like aggressively on. You know, when you hit your level 2 jumpstart, maybe you trade a little more. When you hit your ult, maybe you look for a fight or something like that, right? Like you can do that, but for the most part, you just kind of just want to chill. Like right here, the reaction you're having to that doorman fighting, he's fighting on his own volition with the wave crashing into the tower. This is a horrible mistake from this guy. You should just be clearing the wave from your guardian, right? Not really interacting with these guys. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. I'm wondering also if I should be thinking about any counter items like reactive warrior or even rebuttal for this Viscous. I'm pretty bad at dodging his fists or parrying them, but I just don't have much experience playing against him. It doesn't happen that often, so I feel like I'm terrible at it. So should I be buying something, or is it just a standard?
I think, to be honest, it's more about how you're approaching the lane right now. I think the way you're approaching the lane, you wouldn't need counter itemization if you approach it differently. And what I mean by that is, like, I think you're just walking too forward, you're taking too much free damage, you're out in the open, you're trying to trade when you shouldn't be trying to trade. I think if you weren't doing those things, you wouldn't feel a need to counter itemize here, because realistically, you're fine right now.
Yes, of
you
course.
have extra spear for regen, extra regen for regen, extra charge for healing on your jumpstart. Like, I don't really think counter itemization here is necessary, to be honest.
Okay.
I think you're fine. Yeah, that's me. Like, you could build a reactive barrier from Milkrill combo, but, like, you're gonna have your ult by the time he has his ult. So, like, you already have an ability to, like, counter that. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course, yes.
But do you get all the points so far I've been saying about the lane? Like, the cover, everything like that? Because the cover's massive importance, I think, in this lane.
Yes, I can see how I'm moving way too much, but I'm not sure what's the exact reason for it. I just am looking for some angles to hit the minions, and because of that I'm running around covers, but I barely ever just stay around one.
Yeah, like, look at this here. The big, perfect example here. Like, it feels like to me there's some kind of pressure, like, you have, like, when it comes to, like, contesting this wave and, like, fighting. Is there any pressure that you feel like? Or...
Yeah, as I said, I just feel like I have to take them first, so the enemy cannot do it. And also here the buffs are up soon. I'm not sure if I'm aware of it, but yeah, I guess I am. So maybe that's the reason as well.
The optimal positioning that I want to see you do here instead of what you do is this. So look at where exactly you're at. Go back 10 more seconds. So, like, here, optimally, what I want you to see you do is, like, sit behind one of these covers and just shoot the creeps. Like, sit behind this cover, shoot the creeps. Sit behind this cover, shoot the creeps. But instead, out in the open, all over the place, trying to match Milkrill, you should be just sitting here shooting.
Yes.
Like, stationary. So a thing that I'll write down for you is, like, slow down. And I know it might sound bad, this advice I'm giving you, but I promise it's I myself play in a way that is very slow, just so that it's not volatile and I'm not finding myself in these random situations. So, like, I essentially do this. It's not like I say to myself, I'm gonna play like an old man, and it actually does, like, really, it does a lot. It's really good. This is good on the timers here. Go for the buff.
Yeah, it's probably also part of the reason about my movement, how I don't have enough stamina, because I'm just moving too much.
Yeah, I honestly think, like, when I'm watching you move around and play, like, it seems fine. Like, there's nothing, like, horrid I'm seeing about your movement. Like, sure, like, it's nothing, like, insanely crazy, But like, if you want advice on how you make your movement better, simply like going into the practice range and navigating around the map is how I got my movement better. So like, do you do that oftentimes? Like go into the practice range and move around or no?
Yes, sometimes, but Victor is not that much of a movement-dependent hero, so I'm not sure if I can say that I ignored that, but I don't focus on that too much. Maybe I should start doing that.
I mean, I don't think your movement's the problem. I think it's what you're saying, like the stamina, which is what we've witnessed. I think
Yes.
you're moving around too much, so you feel like your movement is bad because you have no stamina, or oftentimes you're mispositioned. I think that's the issue, to be honest.
Yes, probably.
So it's not like you're not wall bouncing enough, or you're not like jumping around enough. You're just like
The exact
the
opposite.
best way to describe it. What's up? Sorry.
The exact opposite of this.
Yes. You're moving around too much. Like you're moving around too much, using so much stamina, just mispositioned. All that stuff. I mean, you get the 1-for-1, but even that, like, it's just unnecessary. Is about like, I know it's 1-for-1, and it's not really like that big of a deal, but is this even necessary? Like, I think he's just gonna get more gold from this because he's behind, right?
Yes.
So yeah, look, the soul diff is about 500 after you die. Before you die, it's 1,000.
Yes.
So it's not necessary.
I mean, he's just insanely low, so I was hoping that I can stay alive, but yeah, the turret range was a bit too far.
I mean, even then, though, just think. Remember, like, is it even worth taking the risk as Victor? Like, you're here. Remember, you're supposed to scale. Why not take that time to just go farm these tier 2 camps that are on the map now? You know, like playing around the cover, not taking damage from the tier 2 camps, getting a free camp down, and then like, you know, healing up slowly. Just not necessary. Right. The issue that you have with this play here is you're not focusing on killing this heal creep. Like during the sequence that you're playing here, you need to have more emphasis on clearing the heal creep as you're fighting. The reason for that is because it's solo heal creep, and you're gonna heal a lot from this. So this is not bad, to be honest, but not enough emphasis on heal creep here.
Yes, it's just trying to do something after Domen died, but obviously could have turned out really bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you did die there, you would have been full even with the enemies after even having 3 kills. Or 2 kills or whatever. Keep watching. Any other questions so far that you have about anything that we've talked about so far, or?
I think it's all clear for now.
Okay. You go back here?
I'm trying not to engage in the stuff that Dorman does. He just ults them randomly, but I don't see how we can kill Krill or Viscus anytime. It's like kind of ignore that.
You know what? You know what me and my team call that? It's like you see a chicken. Like it's like a piece of chicken, like a squirrel, and like you just go crazy for it. Like look, so here you're backing off, you're doing your thing, and you see this guy just like what is this? Like what even is this? Like what is he doing? Like I honestly don't even know like what the point of this ultimate and like this whole thing is. I have no idea. So like what you need to recognize in this moment is like, yo, this is a squirrel situation. You know, like the movie have like squirrel and they run after the squirrel like a dog.
Squirrel.
Yes.
This is like the squirrel here. You need to ignore the squirrel and go do what's important. The basement camp, the camp under the tier 2, the camp near the walker, right? Your goal, farm and scale as Victor. This, not farm and scale. This is a random like squirrel situation. This guy has like a disease. I have no idea what this is. Like I'm trying my I'm looking also at this like what is this? Like I don't even know what the build is. This is pure like disease. So like it's unfortunate that you're put in a situation where you have to play with this person that's doing this thing, right? But it's the reality. Sometimes in matchmaking you're just going to get these people, right? and you have to identify, yo, this guy's this is a squirrel situation. We cannot get lost, and you get lost, unfortunately. It sucks that you have to second guess what your teammates are doing sometimes, but now you spend downtime, and now you lose the opportunity to take a camp, get some damage off, right?
Yes, of course.
And now, like, once again, you're low HP, no ultimate, MOS combo. You're walking on a wave that you shouldn't be walking on, right? And was this because the doorman was, like, fighting or something? Like, you feel the need to walk up here? Because you cannot walk up here, I'll tell you
Yes,
that.
it's sometimes always also the fact that people get really mad if you don't help them, and I'm trying to take care of mental health on my team so they just don't leave on me, but as you can see, it turns out terribly for me.
Right, and obviously, like, you're playing EU and stuff, right? From your accent
Yes.
and all that. I think from playing an EU, I think playing heroes at scale is really tough for that reason, because I think the region can be really toxic, because like maybe you're not playing in line with how an early to mid aggressive hero can be. I think that might be a reason as to like I think it is the pressure for sure, like what's going on, because that's something I also had trouble with when I played with EU. Like the people were so toxic that I felt like I need to fight earlier as like a wraith, when in reality it's just not what you're supposed to do. Like at the end of the day, even if they're getting mad at you, they're just perception of the game, and perception of how you need to play the game is just incorrect, because they're not viewing it from the perspective of Victor. The doorman is playing the game through the perspective of his doorman, so he's like baiting you. He's not playing it through the perspective of himself and you. So what you need to do is you just need to override it and be like, yo, like I can't follow up on these things because it's just not gonna be good for me. Like the situation here, like you feel pressure to walk up and clear the wave here because you're low HP and don't have ult, you just die. And all that work you did early game with the lane, getting all those kills, is just in the gutter now.
Yes.
Because now you die, and now let's look at how you lose the wave. That's one thing, and now these guys get the gold when they kill. Now you're basically even, right? Now it's like just unlucky. So you need to focus more on like what is your game plan for your hero. You're way too focused on what is also good for the doorman. To an extent, you need to be greedy in a way. Not greedy in the way where like you don't help your teammates, but greedy in the way where like I can't play in the way this doorman's playing because I'm playing Victor. I can't do these things. It's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, after I saw that, I just decided to not split the wave with him and try to do my thing, and it worked out for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much never using my third ability on lane. Is there anything wrong with that? I was wondering.
No, I don't think there's a problem with that, to be honest. If you don't want to use your third ability, it doesn't really make sense, to be honest, like in the lane phase to use your third ability. Unless you're clearing camps, you know?
Yes, of course. I'm just wondering if I should maybe find some aggression with it or anything, just...
Listen, what's how many games you have on Victor? You have... Let me pull this up. You have... Let's load for a second. You have 371 games on Victor with a 60% win rate. You have way more games than me on Victor, and probably most people in Deadlock. So, like, when you feel... It doesn't matter your rank. Okay, sure, maybe if you're, like, Initiate or, like, Archon or, like, whatever. Maybe your fundamental idea on Victor might be incorrect, right? But you're an Ascendant Victor player in EU. It's not bad, right? It's pretty good. So, if you feel like that this is how you should play Victor, most likely it's probably correct. And I would say the things you're telling me where it's like, oh, you know, is it okay to not use the 3 in the lane? That to me seems like not a bad idea as Victor. Like I'm thinking it from their perspective. You just need to trust yourself, bro. That's really all it is. I don't think you're trusting yourself. You're just getting caught into all this junk, like what this doorman is doing and all that.
Okay,
So,
I get that.